I had always assumed that a routine procedure would be just that, routine, a brief, uncomplicated surgery, a short exchange with the doctor, and life would carry on as normal. I never imagined that a few softly spoken words, muttered almost absent-mindedly in a sterile hospital room, would linger in my mind long after the anesthesia had worn off. The morning began like any other. I arrived at the clinic, checked in, and tried to distract myself by scrolling through my phone. When the nurse finally called my name, I followed her into a room bathed in harsh white light, the kind that made everything feel cold and distant. My surgeon greeted me with professional ease. I nodded, forcing down the anxiety that always accompanied medical settings, the needles, the exposure, the feeling of surrendering control to someone else. He described the procedure calmly while preparing his instruments. I focused on the ceiling tiles, the rhythmic beeping of nearby machines, anything to make the time pass. And then I heard it, a low, almost secretive whisper between the surgeon and the nurse. "Give this to his wife. Don't let him see it." The words cut through the sterile quiet like a scalpel. My breath caught. What could he mean? A note? Test results? Something far worse? Suddenly, the walls seemed to close in. The fluorescent hum swelled into an unbearable drone. I wanted to speak, to demand an explanation, but hesitation held me still. Maybe it wasn't meant for me. Maybe I didn't want to know. Even as the procedure began, the words haunted me. The surgeon's calm voice, the nurse's quiet compliance. They all felt rehearsed routine. Yet something inside me shifted, a faint awareness that this morning was no longer ordinary. What should have been uneventful had already become a moment I knew I'd revisit repeatedly. When it was over, I left the clinic, pretending everything was unchanged. The sun outside was bright, pressing warmth against my skin, offered no comfort. That single whispered phrase, "Give this to his wife, don't let him see it," replayed in my mind, an echo I could not silence. I tried to bury it in errands, driving home, stopping at the store, running through my to-do list. But the thought persisted. What could be so secret, so urgent, that it had to be hidden from me and handed directly to my wife? By the time I parked in the driveway, unease had settled deep within me. The house was silent. She wasn't home yet. I sat in the car, gripping the steering wheel, heart racing. Should I ask her? Wait. Logic whispered there was probably a mundane reason, perhaps a document, some standard follow-up instructions. But a quieter, insistent instinct told me otherwise. This was more than routine. Something unspoken, an unacknowledged truth, lay beneath layers of politeness. When she arrived, cheerful as ever, I kept my composure. Our conversation remained casual, surface level, yet every word was heavy with tension, every glance fraught with unasked questions. I couldn't shake the feeling that she already knew something I didn't, something shared quietly while I lay unconscious. My chest tightened at the thought. Later that evening, I found a small envelope in the mail. The handwriting was neat, unfamiliar, but undeniably hers. My hands hovered above it, motionless, as though time itself had slowed. I already knew what it was, the thing the surgeon had mentioned in passing, meant for her eyes only. My mind raced through possibilities, results, instructions, perhaps something else entirely. The anticipation was heavier than the envelope itself. Finally, I opened it. Inside was a single note, written in detached, imprecise script. Not what I had feared exactly, but enough to twist my stomach. A reminder of duty, a call for honesty, intended for her guidance, not mine. Still, the message was unmistakable. I had been excluded. Decisions made quietly without my consent. Reading it twice, each sentence tightened the knot of disbelief, anger, and quiet resignation within me. I placed the note on the table and leaned back, exhaling slowly. I felt neither panic nor rage, only a peculiar calm, a sense of understanding. Some truths, I realized, are not meant to be confronted immediately. They surface when time allows. The note had struck, yes, but how I chose to respond, that remained mine alone. As night settled and the house grew still, I held on to one thought. Knowledge grants power, but restraint shows strength. I would not let secrets dictate my life. I would not allow whispered words to dismantle what I had built. Calm, deliberate, unwavering. I accepted what had been revealed, absorbed its meaning, and resolved to move forward entirely on my own terms.